The following story has been brought to you by StoriesToInspire.org.
Shai and Akiva were best friends, and they enjoyed spending time together since they were kids. Akiva had a severe stutter, and it got worse when he was anxious. In the winter of 1992, their families both decided to go to Israel for winter break. Besides fun trips, this was yet another opportunity to study Torah together, which they enjoyed. Akiva was really good in learning and was working through a difficult piece in the Kehilos Yaakov written by the Steipler Gaon. Something just didn't add up. He explained the problem to Shai, who struggled to follow since Akiva was far more advanced in learning than he. Shai didn't know the answer. Maybe we could ask the Steipler's son, Rav Chaim Kanievsky, said Akiva. Where does he live? Asked Shai. He lives in Bnei Brak. Are you up for a trip? Yup, for sure, said Shai. While they were on the bus to Bnei Brak, Akiva said, Shai, you know that I stutter, especially when I'm nervous. Can you please ask the question for me? Akiva, my buddy, I wish I could, but I don't really understand all the details in the sugya. I'm sorry, you need to ask Rav Chaim yourself. Akiva took a deep breath. He was afraid it would take so much time to ask the question, but he wasn't going to back out now. They took the bus to Bnei Brak. They found Rav Chaim, who was committed to his massive learning schedule and a little time for small talk. The boys were ushered into Rav Chaim's study. Rav Chaim looked up from his Sfarim and took in the sight of these two nervous American high school boys from New Jersey. He smiled at them and waited for their question. Akiva looked at Shai nervously. Shai tried to ask the question, but then he looked expectantly at Akiva to continue. The look on Shai's face said, go ahead, you got this. But Akiva was terrified. Here was one of the Gedolei Yisrael. He had a terrible stutter. Were they crazy to come? He tried to ask the question. The words just didn't come out. The stuttering was so severe, it was painful. But Rav Chaim immediately understood the situation, and he invited Akiva to sit down in the chair right next to him. He took Akiva's hand in his own two hands. He smiled encouragingly, and he said, Odapam, try again. Akiva tried to muster his courage, and he tried again. It was painfully slow, but Rav Chaim gave him his undivided attention, full of gentle encouragement. He even closed the sefer he had been learning. And gradually, Akiva was finally able to progress through the question. Rav Chaim treated the two boys with the utmost respect and honor, and after 45 minutes of his valuable time, he told them, you know what, I think there's a printer's error in my father, the Steipler's sefer. Akiva, you were right to question things. Akiva felt like $1,000,000. So did Shai. Here they were, American boys from yeshiva high schools, and Rav Chaim reacted so warmly and invitingly to them. He validated them. He showed them incredible patience for a question that took much, much longer than he had ever expected. Shai asked Rav Chaim for a bracha for his friend Akiva to help Akiva with his stuttering. Rav Chaim blessed them both, and the boys, who were now elated, took leave of the great sage. Let's fast forward a few years. Akiva, the boy who was barely able to get the words out, is now known as Harav Akiva Resnick, and he is a Magid Shir in Yerushalayim. He now shares beautiful and inspiring words of Torah with his many Talmidim on a daily basis, with no stutter. His friend Shai, now known as Mr. Shai Stern, is now an important Askan involved in many Jewish causes. Their friendship is stronger than ever, and they still learn together whenever they can, but they will never, ever forget that life-changing meeting with Rav Chaim Zatzal. I recently had the zchus to meet with Rabbi Akiva Resnick in Yerushalayim at his yeshiva, and here is what he has to say.
It's amazing how someone like Rav Chaim, the concern, the compassion, the interest, it was not to be believed. The fact that he sat me down next to him, took out the Gemara, let's go through the sugya together. So the whole process was such a powerful process. He showered us, Shai and me, he showered us with brachas, and brachas of tzlacha, and in all types of ways. And it's a memorable experience, something that I carry with me in my entire life.
Enjoyed this story? Come again. Bring a friend. StoriesToInspire.org